Hello, Fee Jamieson-Folland here with this week's topic, which is how does having more energy sound? Silly question, isn't it? But beaming in from one of the most beautiful parts of the world at the time of filming, so by the time that I see you on this week's Alive with Fee, I will be somewhere different, that's for sure. But right now, lapping up what is, in fact, I have learned recently, is the largest self-sustaining tropical rainforest in the world, and it's right there. So I wonder if you can see what right there is. So right in them there hills in the distance, that is the world's largest self-sustaining tropical rainforest in the world. Well, the world, in the world. Anyway, you can tell I'm impressed. And there are many, many species of animal that lurk up in there, birds, animals that are found nowhere else in the world. So I find that very exciting. You might be like me. So I digress. So what do I mean? More energy? Silly question. Well, that's part of the reason I want to share this with you, as I was just bowled over by the enthusiasm and response from many of you who came along to our workshops just recently in Auckland. So we had about 26 people wanting to learn about how to increase their energy naturally. And I know that some of you would have been there, which is fabulous. And the two things that stood out as being the biggest takeaways in the information that we covered, because we just covered a few basic key steps that really have made the biggest difference for me and so many of my clients. But the two biggest kickers, the one was how increasing our water intake to what is more an optimal level every day. So as an adult, between 1.5 and 2 litres, not so that we flush ourselves through like we're a bunch of plumbing. Obviously, we need to listen to our bodies, but generally speaking, our body can give us false information that seems completely believable, like, oh, I'm really hungry, whereas in fact, I'm actually thirsty and I only ate an hour ago or whatever. And yeah, it might be what we ate wasn't ideal. However, like it might have been a meal that the sugar went into our system very fast and our sugar increased, so a high glycemic index meal, and then we crashed afterwards. Sure, that might be so. Although it might actually be that we're thirsty. And it's better to leave drinking the water that we drink during the day, avoid 20 minutes before and after a meal, so that we can actually digest and use our digestive juices to do it effectively. So there's the drinking water part. Bear in mind that that will be affected if we've just eaten salty food or sweet food, if it's particularly hot or in aircon or in heating. If we've been flying, that's very dehydrating. Been exercising, stress. So that's something to bear in mind. And the second biggest takeaway was the importance of filling in the gaps when it comes to our micronutrition. So yes, we need to make sure, I talked about low glycemic index foods, ones that are like putting a log on the fire so it burns slowly and long. And also we need to make sure we're having quality proteins and fats and fiber. However, it's the little guys, the micronutrients, the phytochemicals, the enzymes, the minerals, etc., that we need, the antioxidants that our cells absolutely need for the optimal functioning of pretty much everything in our bodies, including enzymes, and enzymes are responsible for pretty much every system in the body. However, most of the time we're not getting those. So if that is something that you have heard before or you're curious about, then message me, because this is a major area of opportunity to find out more about, just like drinking more water is too. So I'd love to hear from you. What's your answer to could you do with having more energy without relying on caffeine? And in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you on this week's Alive with Fee, where I'll be beaming in from a new location. Stay tuned. Ciao for now.